Today we're going to be reviewing some exponents because we seem to be having some difficulty with that. We did learn about exponents in the beginning of the year, but it's something I want to review because on our on-course assessments we're having trouble with it. So we're going to be taking handwritten notes today. There's no guide notes for this because the notes are really simple. So just take out a piece of notebook paper to write all of this down. Okay. So the title for your notes is Evaluate Exponents. Evaluate exponents, that just means like find the answer. So number 1, 4 to the first power. Okay, so with exponents, this is the base, 4 is your base, and this is the exponent. Okay, so 4 is the base, and then 1 is the exponent. The entire thing is called the power. So 4 to the first power, that just means I have 1 4. So the answer is 4. Anything to the first power is just itself, so the answer is 4. Number 2, 3 to the 0 power. Okay, the 0 power is one of those tricky rules. Anything to the 0 power is always 1. Okay, always, no matter what. You'll learn more about this in 8th grade, but for right now, just know it's always 1. Could be a million to the 0 power, it's 1. Could be a half to the 0 power, it's 1. Always 1. Okay, number 3, 4 to the second. Okay, so my base is 4, my exponent is 2, so it's 4 to the second power, it's called. So, what that means is I have 2 4s that are multiplied together. I have 4 times 4. That's what that means. I have 2 4s. So 4 times 4 is 16. A common mistake is some people would put 8. They would just do 4 times 2. That's not what it is. This is basically saying it's like a square. That's a 4 by 4 square. Let's say like 4 inches by 4 inches. And what's the area? Well, the area is length times width, 16 inches squared. Okay, so that's really what exponents are. Number 4, 6 cubed. So 6 cubed is 6 times 6 times 6. 6 times 6 times 6. 6 times 6 times 6 is, 6 times 6 is 36, and then if you multiply by 6 again, you get 216. You can just put that in your calculator. The other thing you can do is there's a caret button in your calculator. It's like it looks like this. Okay? So what you could do is you could press the button 6, caret, and then put a 3, and then press equals, and you'll get 216. That's the other way you can solve it. Okay. Number 5, 1 to the 8th power. 1 to the 8th power means 1 times 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 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. Okay? If you just keep multiplying ones by each other, you're just going to get 1. All right, number 6. 0 to the 3rd power. 0 to the 3rd is 0 times 0 times 0, and that equals 0. Number 7, 10 to the 4th. Okay, so 10 to the 4th is 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 is 1,000, times 10 is 10,000. And if you look at this, I have a 1, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Anytime you're dealing with exponents and you're dealing with 10 as your base, all you have to do is take whatever the exponent is, you put a 1 down, and then you add that many zeros. So we're adding 4 zeros onto the 1, is what you're doing. That's a trick for when you have a base of 10. Okay, number 8, we're going into fractions and decimals now with exponents. So 1/2 to the 3rd power, 1/2 to the 3rd power is 1/2 times 1/2 times 1/2. When you multiply fractions, you can just multiply across. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So the answer is 1/8. All right, next, number 9. 2/3 to the 2nd power. Now, I want you to notice that with this 1/2 to the 3rd, and with 2/3 to the 2nd, I'm putting this entire thing in parentheses. I'm not writing it like this. The reason I'm not writing it like that, and I'm putting the parentheses, is if I wrote it like this, it would look like I was doing 2 squared, which is 4, divided by 3. It would look like the answer is 4/3, and it's not. You're squaring the entire thing. You're squaring both the numerator and the denominator. This exponent of 2 is distributing to the 2, and it's distributing to the 3. So make sure you write those parentheses in. Okay, so you have 2/3 times 2/3. There's 2 of them. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 3 is 9. Okay, next one is 7/2 cubed. So 7/2 cubed is 7/2 times 7/2 times 7/2. I'm going to move down here, okay, so you can see. So 7 times 7 times 7, you'll probably have to do that in the calculator. 7 times 7 is 49, and then times 7 is 343. Over 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. So 343 over 8. You can just keep it like that. You don't have to convert it to a mixed number. Number 11. 0.1 times 0.1. Oops, I just wrote the answer instead of writing the problem. Okay, well 0.1 squared equals 0.1 times 0.1. Okay, so 0.1 times 0.1 is 0.01. The last problem is number 12. Okay, so number 12 is 0.5 cubed, which is 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5. 0.5 times 0.5 times 0.5 is 0.125. You can just put it in your calculator. Okay? All right, that is it. So you have to, once you submit these notes, you also have to do 2 worksheets, but they should go fast, just like these problems went fast, and some IXL.